Get this started, Paul, before I piss my
All
pants again.
All right, boobies, welcome back. Another episode of BoobTube Heroes, and tonight is one of our Marvel React videos. I'll start again. Jake's, and I
Oh, that was
know,
great. You could have just.
and you know what the best part is
No,
this
it's
is now
fine.
the intro because Jake's gonna keep it, and then it's gonna pan out to show it's on TV. It's gonna go. Boob 2 Heroes. Thanks, Jake. There's your fucking intro.
Oh man, I love this, but that would make a funny intro. Wait. Can you somehow lead this part in? And then it cuts to the music. Ready? Jake, edit it in 3, 2, 1.
I'm probably gonna take like 3 more takes, Jake. So just get ready to fucking use that. That wasn't good. That was solid.
That was a man burp out of
It's
a
White Claw
female
burps.
body.
It tastes good.
How did that happen?
All right. I feel like I need to like type this out.
That's what I heard.
Did somebody say
He's gonna
pipe?
go jack off first.
All right, boobies, welcome back to another episode of BoobTube Heroes. I'm your host, PK Boomer. Joining me again is Jakey B and Timon. And tonight is one of our Marvel React episodes. Tonight's episode is going to be about episodes 1 and 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. With that, I want to open the floor to you guys for your initial reactions. What do you guys think?
I loved it. I thought it was good.
All right.
Good.
I thought it was
Don't
really
need to
good,
talk anymore about it. We loved it. No.
Done.
Yeah. All right, end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go masturbate probably
There you
twice, maybe.
Yeah, we just cut this one short. This is gonna be like a 5-second vid.
Great.
Probably get the most views we've ever had.
I thought it was amazing.
Honestly.
Yeah, it was good though. I did like it. I like the. I mean, I feel like there's obviously more character development between Sam and Bucky. I think the first episode I thought was good at introducing Bucky's character a little bit better than it was Sam's character. I wasn't really the biggest fan of the Falcon from the previous movies, but after watching these 2 episodes, he's grown on me quite a bit, and I think it's just because we get to see more into his personal life than the movies could ever do. And yeah, it was a good call on Marvel's behalf to do that, and the jokes, they didn't feel forced. The harder topics to touch on didn't feel forced. It just kind of flowed with the show, and I think that's what you ask. That's what you need. With this last 2 episodes, we got an introduction to kind of like the race issues in America through the banking scene, and then through the scene where Sam and Bucky are confronted by the police, and the police give Sam a harder time before they give Bucky a harder time. They actually don't give Bucky a hard time at all, but it was good. I appreciate that they wrote that in to work with the story rather than it being
And the way that they take Bucky in too, they're just like, excuse me, Mr. Bucky, there's a warrant out for your arrest, sir. If you would be so kind to like step into the back of the car.
Right, but initially when they came up to Sam, they were like, is there a fucking problem here, guy? And when they say like guy, they really mean the N-word, and it's just it's a reality that is faced by so many people on a daily basis, and they touched on it really, like it was really well done in the show to kind of bring light to that issue.
That shit was good.
Well, I guess
that pissed me off.
But here's the thing: is the only thing that I like that they're going in that direction because it's relevant to our day and age. But it is the only thing that's weird to me with this in both scenes is when they're like, "Oh shit, you're Sam," or like when they call him Mr. Wilson. And it's like, but it's like, it's not like Falcon is really that well disguised where you wouldn't know him in normal life. And then they have the scene where
but would you expect to run into him?
Where he's giving the shield to the government, and he's not in character, and it's him, and you can tell it's him. Now, if that's broadcast on national television, do people really not recognize him on the street? Like that was my only thing with it. But I don't want that to take away from the moment, because I do think it's what they're going to talk about. If that's one of the things they're going to talk about in this show, I don't have a problem with it, because I do think that that's something we saw it with Umbrella Academy, where they race is in the forefront of what's going on, and I think it's now this race in general through TV and in our lives. It's the elephant in the room that is now it needs to be talked about, right? There's a lot changing, so I don't mind that they're doing it. That was my only like slight knock on it.
Yeah, the whole recognition thing. But I got to be honest, Paul. Like, we run a very successful podcast, and
That's
I
true.
never get recognized. You know,
And
it's the weirdest thing. People know me on here, but they don't know me.
Well, and you know what's really hard is strange. When I walk around and I go to people and I'm just like, "Hey, what's up, boobies?" and they don't receive it well because they don't know who I am. I'm assuming they will, because of how much recognition we've got.
Well, it helps if you don't look at their chest when you say
it.
I
need to stop doing it to women all the time. You're right. That is a problem.
Hey, boobies.
You know, one of the things I want to talk to you guys about this, because, you know, Tim, you brought up about Falcon, that you weren't really a big fan of him. Is Anthony?
It's not that it's not that I disliked him. It's just he wasn't a strong character.
But is it one of those where after someone assumes a role, and like in this case, Anthony Mackie assumed the role of Falcon, I think he's a really good actor. He's funny. He brings a lot to the character, where now, you know, and rightfully so, the writers and the producers over at Disney Plus and Marvel were like, let's use this because he brings more to the role, to where now there's actually something there.
Yeah. Oh, they're using him in the right way for sure, and I think that the reason why I had such not a dislike towards the character, but kind of disinterest, I'd call it, is because he felt like a secondary character, and in this show, they're putting him on the forefront. He's a main character. You know, like I said, they're touching on his backstory, his personal life. It works for me. It really does, and it's making it. Marvel is turning that character that I perceived as a disinteresting character into an interesting character, and that's what these shows do a good job at. You know, so I guess that's really what I'm trying to say.
We talked about Falcon. Jake, what are your thoughts so far about Bucky and him kind of continuing the role of Winter Soldier?
On the first episode with his therapy sessions there, it was kind of a nice peek behind the curtain of this is what, you know, the superheroes in the Marvel universe have to kind of deal with. And similar to Falcon with, you know, the loan and stuff at the bank, where we don't really get to see, we only get to see the glitz and the glamour of it, or the epic fight scenes, but we don't get to see that this guy, you know, with Winter Soldier, he's going through like this harrowing, traumatic like experience of like, he's constantly thinking about his past, all the things that he did, what, you know, just because it's not necessarily his fault, you know, he was hypnotized into doing all this killing and becoming the Winter Soldier. You know, we learned that he was pardoned by the government. You know, he has to go through these steps in order just to kind of be a natural citizen. But in his head, he's just not there. And then with Falcon and the bank scene, it was amazing because they're like, yeah, did Stark pay you? Like, how the fuck you getting money?
Yeah, it shows like the technical aspects of these characters, because that is something that you should think about. Like, how are they getting paid? You know, do they get paid, or what's going on? Do they get a salary? Stark's obviously a billionaire, and he was kind of at the forefront of how the Avengers operated for quite a while. But you think about it, it's like, would you really get paid to do that?
It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean that which, if that really is the case too, shame on Tony Stark. That's pretty shitty to also be like, all right, so we're good here, everything's back to normal. I mean, I know he's dead, but like, he didn't set up a trust for.
Everyone's kind of like, yo, bro. I mean, come on, the fucking dough.
Like it's like.
Well, that's why I think the direction that they need to start moving in Marvel is replacing that billionaire, because the billionaire it helped the story. You know, they got all these gadgets and equipment. They got this facility. They had the Avengers Tower, and it's like, now that the only billionaire of the fucking group is gone, it's like, oh, we're running out of budget, so we're renting a house in Oswego.
It's now they're definitely gonna be government sanctioned, because they just don't have the budget anymore.
When they broke Red Wing, I was like, what are they gonna do? Like, he can't just get another one. He's like, he can't.
buy a new one. You can't have Stark create a new one. It's gone now. But they did show that he's kind of Falcon. Sam's character is kind of like technologically
Yeah,
adept. They showed him working on it. It's not something that I think we were introduced to at all, but it does make sense because obviously if he's operating that wingsuit, he needs to be on this some sort of scale compared to Rhodey
sure.
or Stark when it comes to flying it because it seems
Yeah.
like a very technical thing to do.
Yeah, I'd like.
Um, it's interesting that you mentioned the government and how they would have to be government sanctioned. And what I kind of like is the separation between the Avengers now and the government. But it also raises a lot of questions, right? Like, are they like they're able? Does the government allow them to operate? Do they trust them now that they've been, they literally saved the world 3 times, right?
Yeah, it's
Do they
it's a
trust them a
weird
little bit more? Like,
dynamic
what's going on with
because,
that?
and I mean, this is going to be a bad dad pun. I apologize, but we're right now where we're at, we're Avengers disassembled, right? I mean, there is no Avengers right now. They're,
In a
but I
sense,
mean,
but we don't
but
know
like
that either.
you said
We
it
know
with
that,
without Stark, without Steve, who's leading this thing? What are they even doing? I mean, all the Avengers are kind of doing their own thing. Even in episode one,
yeah,
Sam and Bucky are in two completely different areas. They're only coming together for these smaller things.
you're
So it's
right.
like, yeah, and then like, are they able to do whatever they want? It's an interesting dynamic. The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick is Jake, you were talking about the therapy session, and I liked because like you guys just mentioned like the semantics of it all now. I liked when Bucky was like, my entire life I've either been in a fight or I've been at war. And it's like if you think about it, in his 106 years, it's the first time since he was a kid that there's nothing he has to do technically. There's no fight, there's no war, he's not an assassin. How do you just begin life at
Yeah.
that point? And I like that they actually talked about that because, to your point, Jake, the movies are always about when they have to come together and them fighting. You might get a little bit prior to that or the build up to it, but after the fight's over, it's like what happens in the in betweens, and that's what I thought was kind of cool about this show was this is the in betweens. This is where it's not a huge epic battle. There's still stuff going on, but like, how are they able to carry on their day to day lives? I thought it was kind of cool that that's being brought up.
Right. And well, we had to make a lot of assumptions too. And I think just to touch on that before Jake gets going, sorry, it gives opportunity for Marvel to
Mm-hmm.
world build, because for a while we had to make a lot of assumptions about how this world operated with the Avengers and these alien threats. And it's like now we're getting to see a clearer picture, excuse me, of how the government operates, how individual people feel, just regular everyday citizens feel about the Avengers or about what's been happening, and it is an interesting perspective in that sense. Diving into that aspect of this culture of
Mm-hmm.
this world.
Well, wait, hold on, because
But
you
back
brought
to the
up the
Bucky
government.
thing,
It's
Jake.
very sad, and goes back to the bank thing, where they don't have any process in place for helping out all the people that were blipped. They literally are just kind of fucked financially. It seems like, and
Yeah.
it's just that it rings so true today. With
Well,
everything
they
kind of
they
going on with COVID, you're like,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, like how did like how funny it is. It's not really funny, but how it worked out
yeah,
where the show is
Yeah.
mirroring
yeah.
what's going on
Mm-hmm.
today, because there are people struggling out there and
Well, yeah, I
sucks,
like.
fucking sucks. Not for me,
Well,
of
I
course,
like
because
that
I've been
like
working
difference in
and
levels
since
because
I
like
quit, but
in Far From Home, with if you're like a student, it's just like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna have to figure out how you like you know go back and just retake the past 5 classes while or 5 years while you have all these new students. But like you never really got the sense with adults who are just like, if you got blipped,
Mm-hmm.
get fucked because you who knows if they do you even have your house when you got back? Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, what? Well, they did mention briefly that organization that's kind of helping displaced people that came back from
It's
the
the
blip,
government. It's
but
not.
it's
It's not going to be
there
efficient.
were some words. Yeah, it's not. This is why I have problems with conspiracy theorists. Is that they make the assumption that the government is so
Yeah.
well adept at doing all these things when clearly they can't even get the fucking the basic solutions done. I don't think they're able to
You know
control the
damn
weather
well
and
if
No,
like the
well,
the
blimp
economy
happened,
like
if the
people
blip
think.
happened, they would be like, here's a check for 1,400 in a couple months for a down payment.
Yeah, maybe we'll promise
Yeah.
2,000, but we already gave you 600. It's like, hey, what's the lowest amount of money that you can live on? Well, the federal minimum wage is what, I don't even know what it is, but I think it comes out yearly to like twenty two
pretty
thousand
much.
dollars a year, right?
Yeah, no, you're
Roughly,
right.
somewhere around there. I couldn't live on $22,000 a year. You know what we're gonna do for you, peeps? This is what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna give you 1,200 bucks. All right, right off the bat. Then you gotta wait 8 months, and we'll give you another 600. But we're gonna cream it off with a $1,400 check. So the 600 and the 1,400 is really 2,000. So you'll be fine, right? I mean, you can
Yeah.
pay 12 months of rent
Yeah,
or 12 months of a mortgage. Fuck, the car payments. Like, oh, not everyone needs a car. We have an amazing public transport system here in the U.S. We're never late. Every
Those
town's got
student
a
loans,
bus.
we'll put them on
No, it's just
hold.
no,
All right, you
it's
pay
fucked. It's all
later.
fucked.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where as they
and you
keep
can
going, all of a sudden you
see,
know that
yeah,
they're just kind of like, oh fuck, didn't work. What should we give them now? I don't know. Can we give them another 1,200? And then like 3 months later, like, oh fuck, still not enough. Like they just keep trickling it out because they don't look. Let's be honest. I mean, in the Marvel universe and even in our universe, the government. The only difference between the people that run the government and the people like us is they actually wanted to try and do this for a living. It's not like they're any smarter. It's not like they're like this different breed of
yeah.
person. They're human beings, so they're infallible. And I would even argue that they might even be more fallible than us because they don't know what they're fucking doing. I don't fault them for it. I give them credit for trying, but
Hmm,
I mean, would I have done any better? Maybe, maybe not. I don't fucking know.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's different. I think it's different now, and I feel like that it happens kind of in the blip too. They touched on it a little bit with the
yeah,
flag smashers,
flag
right? What are
smashers.
the flag? What,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, is it flag
which by the
smashers?
way, I'm
Yeah.
not
So
a
the
big
flag
fan of them.
smashers, which
Flag smashers.
see, I'm not either, but I feel like this is a group that, and this is what Marvel does so well. It's obviously an antagonist kind of group, right? They're not really, you don't see them as heroes. I feel like I'm going to connect with them and I'm going to love them by the end of the series. I feel like there's eventually going to be a team up between the Flag Smashers and Cap and Falcon. Or, I'm sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I will say that they did kind of touch a little bit on how these government officials, who are known to us as being Hydra related, but not to everybody else, being immoral and doing things out of self interest. And it mirrors what we see today. Like American Airlines was like, yeah, we're gonna need a couple $1 billion to keep ourselves running. You remember all those times we gave you politicians money and the politicians were like, uh two hands or one hand, because I can do this pretty well, but if you like the one
Hmm.
hand, I'll do that for you. And then the American people are sitting here like, well, we voted for you, and we
yeah,
trust you with this
we
power. And
get
they're
we
like,
get the
yeah,
reach
here's
Yeah.
some fucking
around.
change, here's some pocket change.
Wait, are we gonna talk about oh god, what's the fucker's name? Well, Wyatt
Wyatt
Russell, what's his name on
Russell.
the show? Thank you. I don't know, I was gonna say Jack Wilson, John Walker, and what do you guys think about the new Captain America?
Can I go? Because I feel like Jake and I are gonna have conflicting
You're gonna say you like him?
opinions, but
No, you're not.
yeah, I'm gonna say that I don't believe yet that he's as bad as how we thought he was gonna be, just based on the comics and the theories. But I th- I honestly believe that he wants to do good. I just think he's gonna go about it in the wrong way, and he's gonna be like the type of American soldier boy that is 100% government orientated, whereas Cap was more morally orientated. But I still think that the want to do good is there. I just don't think he's going to do it right. if I had a theory on what's going to happen towards the end of the series, I think that he's going to kind of see the error of the ways of his, government organization, and willingly give the shield back up to Steve or to Sam. That's my
Well,
theory
I guess the only
for
thing
how
that
it's going
I'm
to end.
wondering, my initial reaction with him is, I mean, I'm not going to bash Wyatt Russell. I think he's doing a good job for what the role he was given. But the way John Walker is, the guy's just an arrogant
Well, yeah,
douche.
that's how it's
And I
supposed to
know
be.
there's there's a part of it
Yeah,
where,
he
and
is.
I did
Yeah,
kind
he
of like
is.
his intro prior in episode 2, prior to the pre credits rolling, or the intro, where he's kind of it kind of alludes to like how he feels like he has to try and be this person because he has to try and live up to Steve Rogers. And I know that those are extremely enormous shoes to fill at this point where we're at.
Yeah, but I truly do believe him when he says, like, I'm not trying to be Cap. I'm not trying to be Steve. I'm
See,
just trying to be the
Yeah,
best
but
Captain America that I
yeah,
can
but at the
be.
end
I
of
don't
the
think there's
episode, when he's
any
just like, "Stay out of my way," it's
nefarious.
like, dude, you're talking to two guys that saved everyone's fucking
yeah.
lives. Like, fuck off.
How do you like talk
Like,
back to people that
Yeah,
literally
true.
fought like
True.
Thanos' army? Like, what are you gonna do?
and if okay, now
Yeah.
if he was a super soldier, or if he was injected with the serum, I would get it. But they've alluded to that he's elevated, but he is still a normal person, right? You're really gonna tell Bucky, who's a super soldier, to fuck off? The
Yeah.
dude's got a mechanical arm and he's a super soldier. He could be like, "I'll fucking kill you."
Well, that's I did like how when they were in
What's your
that Jeep
name?
together after that
Battlestar.
failed mission where Sam was like, "What's your name?" And he's like, I forget the character's name, Isaiah
No,
Bradley,
Isaiah is the
or is that no?
he's the
Isaiah's
original
the
Captain
other
America.
captain. Oh, fuck. Oh god, I fucked that one up. What was that guy's name? I can't remember, but he goes like John Doe, and he's like, "Listen, man, if you're gonna swing off a fucking helicopter and help us, I'm gonna need a little bit more than John Doe." And he goes, "I'm Battlestar, the new Cap's partner." And then Bucky was like, "Oh, you're Battlestar?
Yeah,
Stop the
dude, I
fucking car,
fucking love
please."
that.
And they, it's because it is ridiculous. Well, it's ridiculous to have these. That's what I like about the MCU is they don't have like um the names, like besides Iron Man and Captain America and Falcon, like Wanda didn't have a name.
Well,
It was just Wanda. It wasn't the Scarlet Witch for a while. Vision was the Vision, obviously. You got Black Panther, but that's more of a mantle. It's not like a name given to him. But I think he sees kind of like the whole like how the boys were like, oh, this is a fucking
well,
product to you.
and
You're
that's what I loved
Battlestar,
about it, because
really?
that
And
name is so unearned. Now, granted, I know these guys are both at this point, they're both vets, right? They both served in the military, so they've done duty. But to
yeah,
Bucky and to Sam, it's like when he's like, "I'm Battlestar," it's like, how the fuck did you earn that name? Like, do you think Bucky ever gave a fuck if he was called the Winter Soldier? Or it's like not like Sam ever called himself the Falcon. It's not like he was like went out like the only
right.
person who
No,
did that
no,
was Tony.
that's
He
my
was like,
point.
"I am
Yeah.
Iron Man," but I think he could do that because he was fucking Iron Man. But like, but it
Well,
was
it was an
earned. Like
earned. It was
these are
earned.
so.
It was
This is such
earned. That's the
unearned
difference.
credibility. That's like almost like a self-presumed. Like, I'm Battlestar. Like, the fuck you are.
Well, it's manufactured. It feels more like a product than
Yeah,
it is a
you didn't
hero,
live up
right?
to that.
And like one of my favorite scenes was when Battlestar and the new Captain America land on the truck, and then they do one of these. They're like, and then you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
like fist bump a little bit, like let's get them, like Power Rangers, because like it kind of it like I said, I'm a fan of Wyatt Russell. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I've seen him in the movies and the TV shows that I've seen him in have been fantastic. So I'm a little biased, but when you're looking at his character, it does feel manufactured, kind of like it's more of an image
Yeah.
thing rather than an actual, inspirational. Because I'm a hero. It's not Captain America. Steve Rogers didn't want to be a hero for the fame and the glory, and I don't get that sense off of
Mhm.
Wyatt Russell's character. But there is a little bit of a pleasing, like a people pleasing. Like I want to be. It's not just about the morals. It's also
I
about
think the most
pleasing
realistic
people
Well,
thing
type of
is
that
like
thing.
the government would
I'm
choose
not.
someone like this who is a war hero, but also
yes.
is good on camera. You know,
and is
Yeah.
controllable.
Yeah. Oh, it's an image thing. It's a complete image thing. I did like, however,
Yeah.
the locker room scene because
Yeah.
I felt like he was speaking honestly. You know, where I like just the acting in that alone, where he's pausing and thinking carefully about every word. Because I've had moments in my life where I've had to explain how I felt to somebody, and it's
All right.
hard. It's hard to open up like
So
that,
so
and
I don't want it to seem
I
like
got
I
that
don't
sense, you
like
know.
him or anything, or Wyatt Russell's acting or anything like that. I think yeah, he wants to do the right thing. I feel like his values do not align with how Caps were. I don't think he's in it for
No.
everyone, and that includes like all races. I think it extends more just upon it, like his arrogance and it.
Oh, by the way, I read an article. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Touch it.
I'll let you finish, but I do want to touch on this right after.
Can you
So
just
give the
wait
mic
then?
back to me. So go ahead.
It's fucking-
Well, because it sounds. I want to hear what you have to say. I just no. I just want to say that I have something interesting to say after
That
the
was
fact.
the
'Cause
best.
I want to let
'cause
you finish your point.
Tim, you totally whatever rhythm Jake had, you totally were just like, Jake, hold on a fucking second. I got something I want to say, but I'll let you speak right now. But after
Well,
this,
I'm
let
getting
me hold on,
excited
let me
about
finish,
it.
and then I'll take it back.
He just Kanye
Fair,
West
fair.
me.
Yeah, fair. Okay,
Jake,
you guys are
Jake,
being
you're making
fair.
a great
all
point,
right?
but
That
the
was
point that Paul made was great. Kanye West me, bro.
For those of you who don't know, I act on impulse a lot of the times,
I wouldn't have been
and when
pissed if
I
you just
think of
interrupted it,
something
but then made
interesting to
your
bring
point.
up,
But the fact that you interrupted, just be like, I have a point to make later.
see what was going through my head was, oh shit, I just interrupted Jake for like the
I don't
nth time
remember what I was
today,
talking
and
about
I
now,
want to
so
let
you
him
could just
finish.
go.
You know, so go. Well, I might as well. Okay, then I might as well start. I'm
Okay,
gonna go.
I just want
I'm
to
gonna
say
go.
this real quick.
Okay, so
The difference,
fuck you, Paul. I'm going.
the difference between the Captain Americas is Steve was never trying to be anything. He didn't want to necessarily be Captain America. He just wanted to be himself, and he wanted to help the world. And he did what he needed to do. This guy,
Right.
it's like he's doing it because he wants it so bad. And until he gets to a moment in this show, which I'm sure to your point, Tim, that he's going to have, it's like he wants it so bad, and that he needs to drop that and just focus on being whatever they need for Captain America. He doesn't get to Captain America doesn't get to make the decisions.
I feel like
he just acts on whatever is needed. And this guy's trying to create the narrative, which is very different.
Right, like Steve was the antithesis of morally right when it came to fairness and doing what was right, and this guy is trying to fill his shoes in the wrong way, in an arrogant way as well. I do, however, like the character. I do like the character. I'm not saying I would, you know, if it was a real thing, I'd be like, fuck this guy. You know, how dare he try to pick up the Cap's mantle. But anyways, the point that I want to get to is I read this article, actually like right before we jumped on here, and it was about the title of the article was "The MCU falls into the same racial mistakes that they previously fell into," and it gave the example of how like they have to make a African American character the side character. Watch the fucking movies, bro. That's all I gotta say to that fucking writer of that article. What a dumb fuck. This article pretty much said that Marvel is racist for making Battlestar a sidekick to the new Cap, and Battlestar is an African American. Why can't we have more African American heroes? Well, maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they wanted to show that the government that is in control in this world will make an African American a side character because they think they're not as important as white people.
And like you could tell, like he wants to say that, but he hasn't yet.
Yeah,
And
well, I mean, they showed it with that other character.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they do it so well. It's like that one scene where he had the one line where the new Captain America, John Walker, was like, and I could do a lot better with with Steve's old wingman at my side, and he's like, it's always that last fucking line, man. And then he gets out of the car, and what I got from that was, oh, you think just because of who I am, I can't be as important
and
as
like
you?
when he
Fuck off. All right, I bring more to the table
and like
than
when
you,
he
and
says
it makes
that, like
sense.
when he says Cap's wingman, it's like Cap is not just a moniker that anyone can take up. Like Sam's like, you're not. Basically, what Sam was saying is, you're not my Cap. You can have the shield, you can have the title. You're not the fucking Captain America I followed. So don't tell me that I'm just any whoever takes up the mantle. I'm gonna follow them blindly. Like fuck you. And I'm good for Sam for saying that. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, what did you guys think of the when because I want to get into another thing. Sorry, it's really a two-part question. What did you guys think of
I
Sam giving
understood
up the
it. I
shield?
mean, I get why he did it. It threw me for a loop because obviously with the trailers, they always start with him training with the shield. And so you kind of get the impression that that's how the series is going to start. Like, I thought he was going to have the shield, go on a mission, it fails, and
Mm-hmm.
then the government takes it away. I kind of like this approach that he gave it away. I'm assuming it's because he believes that, the U.S. is not ready for a black Captain America. I don't know if there's also like, well,
Well,
yeah,
that and there was obviously a lot of pressure on him,
well,
right? Like
that and
he's
it's
on
like,
in the
does he
spotlight.
have to
He's
be
got the
Captain
shield.
America in order to
They
be a
want to put it in a
hero?
museum.
I'm wondering if that's the other
And
point.
that's
Like, I know he takes it in the
I
comics, but like Falcon is an
Well,
Avenger. He is a hero. He fought the army. He has like arguably the best fucking line in Endgame. So I don't know if it's partly that or if it's a little mix of everything.
I yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I actually agree with Sam because I don't understand why. Now I understand the government's reasoning on we need another cap because honestly they want people to believe in something and the government always fucks up and they think that by having someone else hold the shield that's going to make all the fucking difference in the world. But honestly, like yeah, why does Sam need all of a sudden now be Cap? Why can't he continue to be Falcon? Why is that not enough? Why can't we let things just end their life and appreciate them for what they were in their time? Like Steve Rogers was Captain America. I don't think you need another Captain
right.
America. You let another hero who comes up and does their thing their way become who that is. Like they're not asking
Well,
for another Iron Man.
it
You know
comes
what I mean?
back
It's
to
not
like
like
the
they're saying,
whole.
okay, who's going to wear the armor?
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
just weird.
Well, it comes back to the whole mantle thing, right? It's like, is Captain America, is it a mantle or is it an
Hmm.
idea? I know they kind of seem similar, but they're not because when you're looking at how John Walker's character is approaching it, he's seeing it as shoes that I have to fill, whereas Sam is seeing it as like this Steve was this person, a morally righteous person. Nobody could ever fill his shoes. But can there be someone just as inspirational? It almost feels like he's like you said, he's trying to separate himself from the mantle, but it's
Yeah, but
also needed as well. America needs in this universe and that one somebody that they can look up to who is morally just, who is 100% morally just. But
And
you
that's
need
why I think
the
what Sam was
title.
saying is this.
You
But
need
does
the
it need to be
title
another
to be
Captain
that.
America? You have all these other superheroes that can just be who they are. No one needs to be Cap. It's not like oh Captain America's gone, let's replace him. No, you let it die as how it was, and you have new heroes.
But it's a little bit harder because Cap's character was so inspirational. When you have Tony Stark, he was obviously
Sure.
not 100% morally right. Looking at the Hulk, he was just fucking shit up. Rhodey was, Rhodey. Vision was Vision. But when you're looking at Cap, he was an inspiration to the American people and the world in general, and I think it's a little bit harder when you're looking at that just because of the inspiration that comes from it. Like you could be inspired by the rest of the heroes, but Caps was, I mean, it's so white bread American that
Yeah,
everyone
but you
kind
knew
of
it was going to
connects
get
to it,
diluted.
you know?
Anyone that's not Steve, it's going to get watered down,
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah,
fan
one hundred
service.
percent.
And it's just to your point earlier, Tim. It's exactly what the government would do, and I think that's the problem. Oh, sorry,
It's
Jake.
actually Jake's point, but
To JKB's point, it's exactly what the government would do.
it's okay. No, but it's important that you
Um,
recognize it. Yeah. Well, that brings me to like how Bucky reacted. I think it was absolutely justified. How he reacted to Sam giving the shield away. And at first, I didn't really understand why Bucky had such a shitty attitude. Besides, like it's fun banter to watch in general in in a
mhm.
show like that. They have a good chemistry. that sassiness, kind of
Fuck
like
you,
we all
Paul.
have, like "fuck you, Paul." But
No one ever says "fuck you,
but
Jake."
when they were in that therapy session in the
No one
second
ever says that.
episode, well,
Oh,
it's just assumed.
okay.
Fucking Paul, am I
Yeah.
right?
So,
God,
but with
this
the
fucking
therapy
guy.
session,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
with the therapy
Oh,
session.
sorry.
Hey,
Did I interrupt?
Shh. Hush, my child. With oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Wait. Hold
Fair.
on.
Fair.
I'm sorry.
With the therapy
This is
session,
not a
right?
bit. This is not a bit. I
Sure.
have to do some. It's not. I swear. Just.
Oh, okay. It sounds like it is, but
All right, you can go.
That was some nice
I
ASMR
just
right
wanted to
there.
open up my can of beer. You can keep. You can
Wait.
continue.
Are you pouring it? Are you pouring it? Let's hear this.
I'm not.
Oh, you're just never mind.
Go on.
Gulp, 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 gulp.
I can't be disappointed.
Okay, you can go.
I deserve this. Okay, so with the therapy session and Bucky's reaction made a lot more sense. Like how his tone towards Sam has been, a lot more.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense, right? I mean, he has that line where he says, Steve gave you the shield because he believed in you. And if you gave it away, that means he was wrong about you. And if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. And that kind of hit me a little bit because Bucky he's such a there's so much with his character. He was, one of the Howling Commandos, and he fought on the right side of history, and then he gets brainwashed and he's fighting on the wrong side of history for so long. And the only person that was willing to save him was Steve, right? And that's because Steve saw something in Bucky that nobody else saw. And what he's thinking, I mean, I know this goes without saying, I just want to put it out there into words, is that, if Steve was wrong about you, with you giving away the shield, then he was wrong about me, then maybe I wasn't worth saving. And it hits me a little bit because I've made some mistakes in my life and I've done some dumb things in my life. And if it wasn't for my friends that saw something good in me, then I would not be the person I am today. I wouldn't have tried to fix those things. And it just makes sense to me that he would have that opinion of Sam giving the shield away. It's like, well, if he was wrong about you, then he's wrong about me. It kind of it gives it that
I feel
whole
bad for interrupting this
level
now.
of meaning.
Well,
so,
and I think
so heartfelt.
No, it's okay.
But, with the whole
Bucky
thing, and I think that's something, I've been a big fan of Bucky throughout this. I feel like, if anything, what I'm glad about with this series coming out is that Bucky and the Winter Soldier was awesome in his introduction into this. When they had the Winter Soldier movie, but he kind of got sidelined during Infinity War and Endgame. Like, he's in it, but you don't really get to see him be at like his full powers. And so I like the fact that now he gets some attention because he does have a very interesting storyline of what happens after you go through what he's gone through. And he's probably got one of the worst, like the most traumatizing storylines in the entire MC universe at this point, for what he's gone through to this point. So I think it's going to be really cool to see what he does now to kind of rectify all the wrongs that he's done. Not his fault, but he still has to own them. So I think that's going to be a really interesting perspective
absolutely.
in this series. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. And I know we kind of do a lot of call outs to the actual actors, but Sebastian Stan in this is great. And I love how him and Anthony Mackie have a great off-camera relationship, because I think you see that on camera too. That's what makes them so great, is because they're just they bounce off.
What a phenomenal
the
actor.
next Luke Skywalker, right? All right. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, which isn't necessarily a Falcon and Winter Soldier thing, it's just where we're at now. Now that WandaVision is done, and we've had some time to kind of digest that series and look back at it. And then with these first two episodes, the one thing that I wanted to ask you guys is the TV series that we've seen so far. They don't match up to the level and the hype of the movies. Probably because they don't have the budgets for it. I don't think they were ever intended to be that way. Um, Overall, I guess, what are your thoughts about where the series are and where they're going with them? I'll go ahead and throw my thoughts on it first because, reading a lot of the articles I've read about the fan service, especially more with WandaVision, because we're only in the first two episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, about how certain things didn't happen. Like we didn't see Mephisto, we didn't see Nightmare, we didn't see any other characters really from the Marvel Cinematic Universe other than what was originally advertised. That people were disappointed that we didn't get more, and they're kind of slicing and dicing these things and not just enjoying them for what they are. And that's where I just want to just say to anyone that's watching this, my opinion on this is just for everyone just to fucking chill out and just enjoy them for what they are. I don't think Wanda
Honestly,
was bad. I don't think this is bad. Is it going to give us
no.
everything we want? No, but that doesn't mean they're bad shows, and they're just feel good shows that we can enjoy that still keep us tied in from the end of the Infinity War Endgame series before we get to Phase 4. Like, why can't people just enjoy them for what they are? They're not going to give you everything you want. These writers.
Well, how lucky are we that we even get it?
What's that?
How lucky are we that we even get these
Exactly.
shows?
Exactly.
Like,
Why is everyone like? I see a lot where people are just nitpicking the fuck out of them. It's like, just calm down. It's okay if it doesn't have everything. It doesn't mean it was bad. Like, I look back now at WandaVision because I was disappointed. Jake, I know you had some disappointments with it. Tim, you as well. But at the same time, like looking back, I'm like, I'd still watch it again. I thought it was fun to watch. And Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm enjoying these for what they are. You know, so I guess my thought was is to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on where we're at right now? Because I know we're in episode 2. We got Loki coming out after this, but like, are you guys still expecting so much out of them, or want them to deliver more that is at the movie level, or is it okay if they're not that?
no, it's a great question because, like, honestly, I'm just happy that we have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been such a dry spell with Marvel because of the pandemic, and I mean, I know to you guys as well as much as me, these stories mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's entertaining, but I mean, it helped shape me growing up. I grew up watching the first Iron Man and then Captain America and unfortunately Thor, but they do mean a lot. I'm just excited to have these shows. So regardless if they're good or bad, I love seeing more of these fucking characters. Like, yeah, I mean, did I have some problems with WandaVision? Sure. Am I going to have problems with Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Absolutely. But just the continuation and the world building of these TV shows and what that has done for my curiosity and the questions that have been answered, questions that I even know to ask through these shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's done a lot for me. So I'm very happy. I see I might have made a mistake and got a little too excited by a question. I didn't hear the last half.
No, is it okay that they are what they are? And to your point,
Yeah,
for me, it
absolutely.
is. I like the world building that goes on. One of the things I was thinking about when I was thinking about Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision is Game of Thrones. One of the things that I think everyone enjoyed about the first seasons that they really got away from in the later seasons, and I can't remember the guy who plays who's the guy that gets his nuts chopped off, the bald dude. His name starts with a V.
Varys.
Yeah, Varys.
Varys.
The guy who played him, like he said at the end of
Varys,
it, what
Varys,
he didn't like
Varys.
about where Game of Thrones went is they stopped talking about those secondary and tertiary characters. That they started just focusing on main characters, and that took away from what made the show so great. What we loved in the first seasons, especially when we were still in the books, is that you got all these other character developments, the world building that happened, and that's what I like about Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and what we're going to get from Loki, hopefully, is you get secondary and other characters, you get to build them up. We wouldn't get a Falcon
It's
story
like
or a Winter Soldier story,
yeah,
you know?
like Loki's always been a huge character, but what do we really know about Loki?
Right.
We have to make a lot of assumptions. So when we see him in this series, I'm expecting to learn a lot more about his nuances, his his upbringings, and even if I don't get that, just seeing how he acts and an anthology rather than just based off the movies, an anthology of like an episodic anthology rather than just watching them in these big blockbuster movies where you're getting a lot of the character, but you're only getting like the juicy parts of it. I want to see the nitty gritty,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we're getting with these shows. Is like, obviously I understand Wanda a lot more as a character after watching WandaVision with just these last two episodes of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm getting more out of Bucky and Sam than I've gotten in any TV show or any movie that has come out,
Yes.
and that's why I'm happy if they are what they are and they're not exceeding my expectations, because my expectations of Marvel they've been exceeded so many fucking times that it's like we get these TV shows, like that's the first time that we've really gotten TV shows that from such a big franchise
Mm-hmm.
that has kept me interested. And I'm excited. Like, I not only do I have Fridays to look forward to and Saturdays, but it's just these TV shows that they're introducing me to more of this world. I guess that's really what I'm trying to say is they're bringing me more into it. They had a noose around my balls, and now they got a finger in my
There you
ass.
go. That's yeah. You know what? That's my thing. Is like, for anyone that listens to this, I think for us, if you're looking for people to slice and dice it and nitpick the shit out of it, I think we're more or less just fanboys. I'm not going to ever claim that I'm an expert on this. I just enjoy them for what they are. But I do
But that's
think,
the nice thing about it.
and I do think there's
You don't
certain.
have to be. You don't have to know everything. You just
Well,
gotta
that's
enjoy
just
it.
it. Like, why can't people just enjoy it? Because like I look at, like, to your point, Tim, Wanda. When would you have got that character development in the movies? You wouldn't have. So she got this full, like, evolution to being the Scarlet Witch. Monica Rambeau would, like, if that was in a movie, God, they wouldn't have even addressed her in this. You know what I mean? Whether she's
Yeah.
Photon or whatever role she's playing, they wouldn't even, like, brought that up. But this gives them a platform to bring up other characters. I'm super excited about Zemo coming in because
Oh, me too.
because
I'm
I
very
think that's
excited.
another way to bring up another character. This is actually one of those things I would say, even though I know it's not canon anymore, but the Netflix series with Daredevil and the Punisher, like, Vincent D'Onofrio playing Fisk, like,
Yeah,
dude,
and you
that
get these
I love
beautiful
Fisk.
acting moments
Yes,
too.
that they wouldn't get the service they need if they were plugged into a movie. They'd get like a 5-second bit that wouldn't carry any weight. So I
What?
don't have a problem
Yeah.
with these shows the way I think other people do. I'm not saying people have a problem with them. I just see a lot of, like,
No, but you
negativity
know that
about them.
100%, because people their expectations are just really fucking high. I remember the previous episodes I talked about how I kind of changed my opinion on the theories after kind of coming to an understanding that Mephisto's not going to be revealed. You have to understand, they're shows. They're not going to
Yeah.
introduce such heavy hitting characters. They're going to introduce some very heavy hitting
Mhm.
points, like plot points, but characters is completely different. Just be happy that we get it.
Yeah.
Are there problems with these shows? Yeah. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be a fucking Shakespearean, just all around, well-rounded, beautiful fucking show that everybody enjoys. But it's those moments, like, what is grief but love persisting,
Yeah.
that make the shows. It doesn't have to be 100% great. Nobody's going to be able to do that. There's no TV show out there where you didn't hate a specific episode. There's no movie out there that you didn't hate a specific scene. It just exists. That's what it is. With that being said, you can still enjoy the fuck out of the
Oh,
shows.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, no, I'd agree. Even if it had no bearing on the cinematic, like, movie universe, it's still really fun to watch.
100%. I mean, you're not going to get Infinity War and Endgame every episode, every TV series. Nothing's going to live up to those, right? That was a culmination of
No,
over a decade. We'll probably get there, but now we've got some additional world building that will go into it. And that, I just think it just needs to be appreciated for what it is. And Tim, to your point, at least we fucking get it. Like, they don't have
yeah.
to give us these episodes. They don't have to give us these
Like,
shows.
think about how excited you were when you first read that they were coming out with these
Oh, dude,
shows.
I'm
Like, I was I'm and, like, honestly, with this pandemic and everything that's been going on in my life, these shows give me something to look forward to, and they make me happy. So even if they weren't the best, which they haven't been terrible, you know, I've had problems with them, but they're still pretty fucking good. It gives me something to look forward to and something to enjoy. You know, it's like an ex-girlfriend that you had a really good relationship with, right? It's like you're sad that it's over, but you're glad you have the memory, like that kind of thing. You know.
100%. And
So I mean,
yeah, and Tim, I appreciate the little bit of insight that you gave us. Jake, I loved your full dialogue on this topic. It was really appreciated. With that, for anyone that's watching the show, let us know your thoughts. What you think about that? Are you guys appreciating it for what it is? And with that, I hope you guys tune in next time when we go to another episode of Boob Tube Heroes.
guys, there's another spider.
Get it?
I agree.
Jake concurs. Tim's gonna go become Spider-Man. Jake is going to continue to talk our ears off, and this is PK Boomer signing off. Thanks, everybody.
Guys, hold on. I have one more